Yeah, I was convicted of a gang related murder when I was 19. Stemming from an after school situation, man, where unfortunately someone lost their life, and and I was pretty much framed by an LAPD crash unit officer, and didn't tell on my friends, so I had to walk that off.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Today, I'm interviewing the homie Kufan, better known as Baby Spike from X-Ray Gangsta. Earlier, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but allow my homie to introduce himself.
Down for it all for the cause. Breaking niggas' jaws. Have them sipping soup through straws. Raw dogs. Stomping motherfuckers and brawls. Seen it all from the pen back to juvenile hall. Taking off, calling dogs outlaw with stripes. Niggas run for their guns when I stomp at night. I'm obsessed by the text. Having money is sex. On respect, check my rep cause I'm one of the best. Wanna label me a threat cause I invade their game. Took the pound, made the gang, now they praise my name. In the zone where it's on, ain't no room for hooks. Got a tussle in the struggle, so we move sticks. Minds blank from the drink and the dank I'm on. Knocking holes from the way I get my gangsta on.
Well, my mother named me Kufan, but I grew up in the streets as Baby Spike from X-Ray Gangster. Uh, I served my time for X-Ray Gangster, but I'm back on a different page now. But that's what I'm about. Is my program addresses gang bullying, criminal thinking. We have a program that's directly towards that. We have a program that's called emotional awareness and drug and alcohol as it relates to the gang mentality. And that's what our facilitators, uh, that's the program they take throughout the prison system. From Pelican Bay to Ironwood is highly recommended by the parole board, and it has helped a lot of people. I created the program after I was denied parole for the going up for the first time because I didn't have enough showing to show what I was doing about my quote unquote gang addiction. So that's where our program come from. It's an acronym for Gang Affiliates and Criminal Offenders Recovery, and we like to address the causative factors of our of the mentality, which is something that I had to do in order to make it here. Because I had been in that state a very long time, all throughout my prison career. So it took a lot for me to come to a new state, but I understand it well now.
Now, let me ask you this. You answered my question. You said you got your inspiration to start that program because you was denied parole, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was your longest stay in prison?
Well, I did one stretch. I was one and out. I left when I was 19, and I served 25.
And what was that crime? What was that prison stay for?
I was convicted of a gang related murder when I was 19. Stemming from an after school situation, man, where unfortunately someone lost their life, and and I was pretty much framed by an LAPD crash unit officer, and didn't tell on my friends, so I had to walk that off.
So it's safe to say you did time for somebody else.
Yeah, but what got me out was that I never disputed the fact that I was there. I just didn't tell on my friends.
Right.
But but if I was the one, I would have, I would have been the one. So I had to take accountability for my actions and the things I was doing prior to what got me in the situation that I was in. So taking that accountability, that I had to be able to articulate that to the commissioners, the difference, me understanding what happened. you know I understand that the mentality is what led me to the scene, and I understand that I looked at the victim in that case as a rival gang member, as opposed to seeing him as a human being. and I think that's what resonated well with them. At the same time, I still I had habeas corpus in the court for actual innocence. So it was a big thing prior to going up for parole. But the biggest thing I had to do is learn forgiveness and be able to forgive myself and then understand what happened so that I can be able to articulate myself when I went up for parole.
Now that's another thing I wanted to rap to you about. You say forgiveness. It's a lot of our brothers out there talking about peace in the streets of LA right now. Man, what you think about that?
Well, um, that's a big word. You know what I'm saying? That's a big word. That's a trauma word. You know, um,
It's triggering.
that's a triggering word. So you have to be careful with that. I had to learn that firsthand when I came home and began the mission that God brought me back for. And the first thing that I learned is that you just don't jump out there and say peace for anything, right? I did that and it went the other way. I tried to, I tried to use those type of words or whatever, man, and I seen where that had went, and it pretty much um, broke off a lot of friendships and everything, just from initially using that word. So that's why I pretty much changed it around to, non-aggression agreements, because that's something that we came with in prison, and it was very effective for that time. And so I just began to continue my mission with that regards to re-educating the people as opposed to calling peace. I can't call peace for anybody who still had that hate in their heart. Like, I understand that, Mike. I suffered a lot in that business. My sister, myself, my closest people. I had a lot. I knew why I was living in hate. I understood that. So, you know, um, I had to come to understand these. Yeah, I was convicted of a gang related murder when I was 19. Stemming from an after school situation, man, where unfortunately someone lost their life, and and I was pretty much framed by an LAPD crash unit officer, and didn't tell on my friends, so I had to walk that things and learn to forgive myself, learn to forgive those who did that to my sister, learn to forgive those who I know who've harmed my family, and understand that it's the mentality that drove them to do what they do. I The person who shot me when I was gunned down, and the last words that I heard was "fuck Trump."
Mm,
Old motherfucker hit me 3 times.
mm,
So, and I was told that the individual had got out or whatever, and I said, you know what? Tell him I wish him well. I understand what happened. I understand what state that we were in.
right.
I understand that business.
Now let me ask you this: when you said what they did to your sister, do you care to talk about that, or is that something you
Well,
want to
my sister, well, that's before my generation, but my sister was kidnapped. Um, she's an extended family. I grew up in their home. Um, she was abducted at leaving the county jail from visiting my older brothers, and and she was abducted and raped and left on our rivals' football field. Um, and I remember being in that household. My nephew is the closest thing. That's her son, and she has kids, and I love them dearly. But but I remember as a kid in my state, seeing my sister, or remember her coming home with those patches and everything, and remember learning about things when I began to go to Horseman, and I learned why these people chasing me home from Horseman and said,
Right.
but she gave me that business, giving me the understanding, not knowing she telling me what what took place and shit, man. And and so I went into that business with a sense of hate, you know what I'm saying? Misguidance, no therapy, no none of that. Like, and so I had a reason to feel that way, but through everything that I've been through, once they put the cuffs on me and they introduced me to that world, to that police world where they do what they need to do to get you world, right? Once they introduced me to that, and then learning what's going on. Like I said, I studied 3 years of law prior to coming home, so I did my own habeas, so I learned a whole lot about what took place.
Right.
Because I had to understand how I got in that situation. I don't have no criminal history whatsoever other than what they did to me.
Right.
But that's not something that I preach.
And let me get a little deeper on the prison stint, because you hear a lot of brothers, man, that got these channels, and they don't really talk about the real harsh reality of what goes on behind them prison walls. They pretty much glorify it. They say they don't, but they do. We still kind of glorify the gang life. And I myself find myself still being attracted to the lifestyle. It's in us. You know what I mean?
Well,
And go ahead, bro.
that's the thing, brother. Is that's what we introduce, man. It, it, it is the lifestyle addiction to it, right? Like I battle every day about things I see and every day, knowing I get, knowing with one switch, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And call my niggas up and shit, you
Right.
know.
Mm-hmm.
We battle an addiction to that lifestyle because that's what they inbred in us from the game.
Right.
Willie Lynch did this. They already had it mapped out for you, right? We fell into that, and we still get that. You still get that because of what the things that we see or things that we hear or what have you. You know, and you battle that, man. If you're a grown man, I'm 53 years old. I serve mine strong and honorable for my people.
Right.
I'm on level 4 yards my whole life. On level 4 yards my whole life. General population, man, no cut.
Right.
Whole life.
That's what's up. Now, look, tell these youngsters, man, what happened to them when they go to prison?
Well, when you get to prison, man, everything that you thought you were doing here, man, is over. Well, what I mean by that is that before I went to prison, I had so much hate in me, so much anger, so much rage and violence. I popped my thing for everybody I knew.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got to prison, I had to shake their hands, and when I didn't do that, when them dudes left our presence, my own people turned to me and told me, "You better not do that again. We don't do that in here.
Right.
We have to stand as one. So when they come back around here, you better show them niggas respect.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it."
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would, me and I had full of hate. So that probably one of the biggest things, like my big homie Crazy D, man. That's my big homie right there, Big Crazy D. When I first entered the prison system, he was in the I heard what cell he was in. Fresh in, fresh out of reception. I ain't knowing shit about none of that. I'm fresh in, one of the first ones from my side of town to come into the prison system, you know. And the first thing I'm in the building with was Big Crazy D, my big homie. Shit. So before I even put my bags down, I'm like, what cell he in? Shit, I'm going to a cell and shit. You know, I'm a young nigga, and I get to the cell and shit. In his cell, I'm like, "What's up, big homie?" He like, "I'm like, oh, that ain't Crazy D." I'm like, "What's up, homie? What Crazy D at?" He like, "Oh, he at work, homie, but I'm Smiley from 9-0.
We got a problem here? We got a problem, nigga?
Damn. But y'all wouldn't warn though.
Smiley from 9-0.
Right.
You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
all right, homie, tell him I came by.
Right.
But I knew in my conscience not to disrespect that man sitting up in Crazy D cell.
You did what you had to do.
Right.
I
Right.
knew that much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he came to holler at me when he got at me once again. We don't do that here. They already been there, already been through crazy all that shit. So they already know that business. Who am I? These dudes came in for the same shit I'm coming in here for. They been here.
Right.
So I knew to fall in line. So what the biggest thing I could tell a young motherfucker, right, is that it's not that a motherfucker forcing any type of peace on you. Me, I learned my lesson. I'm not here to call peace for anybody. I tell my homies or anybody that. I'm not the one to call peace for you because I understand that hate you got in your heart. All I was saying was that keep the safe parks and recs safe.
For the kids.
Keep those schools safe.
Yeah.
For the people.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever y'all got going on in them streets, that's what it is. But I'm going to tell you, there's no statute of limitations on murders.
Right.
And when they get their hands on you, you're going to go through what you're going to go through in that county jail. But you're going to hit that yard and you're going to shake their hands. You're going to fall in line with them Crips.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to fall in line with them Bloods, them essays, them Thugs.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to fall in line with them. You ain't going to bring none of that business.
All right.
So for me, and this is what I teach in my curriculums, in my trainings, it's 2 + 2 is 4. I understand the hate. We all lost in that business. We all lost. If you lost one motherfucker, you lost.
That's right.
If you got one homie sitting in the prison right now with no get back, you lost.
That's right.
So you're not winning. Nobody's winners. And when you talk about peace, you got to talk about the whole. We talk about the people.
Mm-hmm.
We do this for the people. It ain't because we scared of you niggas or you niggas scared of us or you think you winning right now or it ain't about none of that, man. It's about our people. And if we want to see our people safe right here and don't have to get none of them innocent shots, then you should do the same. My boy calling me right now from Rolling 60s and shit. Yeah, what's up with it, Cal? Look, let me hit you back, right? I'm on here right now. We're talking about peace and things like that. But I'm gonna hit you back, and we're gonna go over. And so when I'm done with this, I'm gonna hit you, man. Say what's up to the people, man. Hold on, say what's up to the people, man.
What's up, homeboy?
Yeah, go ahead. Let
Can
me.
It's Cal, man. I was just calling my boy, man, to just try to take his criminal thinking class.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Tell him who you are, brother. Tell him who you are, old school.
I'm old school, aka Bam. Bam up out of Long Beach.
Man, I used to run around.
No, hey, Cal, he telling you who he is.
Yeah, can you hear me, homie?
Who is that?
Tell him, tell him.
I'm old school, homie. I'm doing the podcast with Spike, but my name Bam up out of Long Beach 20s.
Oh, okay, Bam. Yeah, I heard about you, man. I'm baby Cal out the 60s.
That's what's up, homie. All day long.
Right. So that's what this movement is about. Is about re-educating our people.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you, Cal.
All right, love y'all.
All right.
Keep up the good work.
For sure, bro.
Right.
For sure. So, I've been doing that. Even when my little homie was telling me about the walk on Slauson, man, for the little Nipsey Hussle little homie, right? When Sodi got at me, about what they were doing, and the mother cats from over there was reaching out as well, So, and I went and I watched him and I watched my people. I saw all of that. I know I didn't try to get up to the front and take no pictures and do none of that. It's not about that. Right. But I got at them individuals that was there like, this is all good right now. This is all for the camera and shit.
Yeah.
We need to really talk about what this looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a big meeting, Crips and Bloods, over 200 Crips and Bloods right on Vermont 82nd. And I told all of them, riding off the piggyback of that on this in the spirit of Nip, and asked everybody, go back to your communities, get with the hitters, see what they would agree to, won't agree to. What would we do? Let's experience some non-aggression agreements. What would we, some new rules of engagement, right? And I tried that too with my own. I can't tell them do it and I don't do it. And I did that.
Right.
And they didn't want that. You understand me? When I get it, but I let them know before that. I'ma still stand on what I'm standing on.
Let me ask you this. Did your peace come from within you, or did it come from you wanting to get up out that penitentiary?
Well, I think, man, everybody always want to get out of prison, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. Especially after you did 5 years, 10 years, 15. I pray day in and day out, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, for just one chance. Just one chance. You feel what I'm saying? So I think when I assaulted another inmate, the last assault that I did on another inmate with a weapon, I think I became affected at that point when I seen that inmate come into the ASIG from the hospital and stuff.
Right.
And I would begin to ask myself, man, that ain't who your mother wanted you to be. That ain't who she, you went from street violence, being groomed, to hate these people over here, battle these dudes over here, have shootouts over here, get shot over here. They have you so programmed on that, and now you here, you picking up a knife on some racial shit for your people, shedding blood. Your mom ain't one, so I'm like, I vowed for nonviolence. I ain't had to commit another act of violence up in there. I did it so much and not tripping and shit, but my mama ain't raised me to do that, to go from these guns to these knives and shit, stabbing people up and shit.
Right.
So it became personal at that point. And I think when they denied my parole after trying so hard, I think that's when it became a mission to me. Because now I need to educate everybody else, so y'all won't be hitting them with that. And I made this program so that brothers and sisters can be able to go in there and be able to articulate who they was then and who they are now and who they plan to come back and be. And they can do that through this organization. So I know I have right now maybe 400 participants from Pelican Bay to Ironwood who rely on my signatures, who rely on a little hope from me.
That's what's up.
I'm not out here to fuck that off. I'm just out here to spread the truth about the end results. I know I can't reach those that got that hate in your heart. I understand that. I lost a lot. I don't know what you lost. I don't know what a lot of y'all lost in it. Right. I don't know what you put in for it, but I lost a whole lot. I've lost somebody every year. I've been home for 8 years to top it off. That could truly send a person over the edge.
Yeah.
But that's not the, I'm here for a mission. I'm just here to enlighten the people about the lifestyle addiction that we suffer from, that they capitalize from, that a lot of organizations are capitalizing from, and it's not even for the people.
Right.
Because if we really, and it takes us to be able to address the issue. So when you talk about peace, that's a really big thing. So you just don't jump out. You don't say that, because there's a lot that come with it. It's a lot of footwork that go with it. It's negotiations. It's talk. They just don't up and say, just don't, do that. So it's a process. Yes, you would like that, and some things need to start here instead of there. But for me, I'm about the whole people.
Right.
It ain't about this section. It ain't about that section. Because I know at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what section you're in. When you get to that business, you're gonna be washing your drawers in that sink the same way that motherfucker next door to you. You might be able to give him some detergent.
Damn right. Damn right. Now you know what? I spent a lot of time with your homeboy Skool, man. And I like to pick old heads head, you know what I mean? And one thing Skool always said to me, man, it stuck with me. He said, Crips and Bloods, we anti-black, right? That's where I got that from. He said we anti-black. And when he said, as soon as he said it, immediately, I was like, damn, you right. You right. Because we put our hood before our race. We put our hood before our race. You know what I mean? Now, what you think about that?
Well,
And why do you think we put our hood before our race?
no, that's absolutely an inaccurate statement. You know, we've been anti-black, like we've been anti-black since the beginning of everything. That's when everything shifted. You know, these things wasn't even supposed to be like they are. But even I feel short of that glory. You feel me? Because you know, I believed in that in that hate against my people.
Yeah.
I fell into that genocide, right?
Yeah.
I lost my people when they sent me to repeat the same thing that was done to me, right? But it's our own people, right? So I had to get over that before I can make it here. I knew that. There's no way, even though I've lost all of my friends for standing on what I'm standing on, but I had to do that there. There's no way I could have just jumped out here and think that I could have just up and doing what I'm doing now. This was a process. I got to see what God needed me to see. And once I put God before a trade, it wasn't stopping my coming home.
Right.
Because all my life I put a trade before God. That was all I gave a fuck about. I gave up my whole life, my whole being for what was for that. And once I gave it to God and said, God bless me. Let me know what it is you want me to do. And I retired 8-month third day, 2014. And I walked out of there in 2016, strong and honorable, on the main line, GP.
That's what's up.
Calipatria, level 4 yard.
Now look here. As we spoke late last night, you said something about how when these brothers go out here killing innocent people, man, tell them how they gonna be sent on torpedo missions. And
Oh yeah, man. That's that's one of the first thing I noticed out here when I first got out here was out how the people are hitting innocent people. And I remember hearing while I was in the cages and shit that they people were sending these kids out here on some don't come back without a body type shit, So I began to understand where this coming. I seen it, and I seen a lot of innocent people in my community, and I'm still with their families. I've prayed with them, and I know that their family member wasn't the intended target.
right.
I'm very sharp on what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm an independent organization. I don't, so I get to know what it is I get to know. You understand? Right. And I've been when I put these pieces together, stuff like that, it's like, wow, man. So I think it has diminished over the most recent years. But for a period, and I just believe that the more people was arrested, they don't do any more investigations now because really, but the people that were arrested and they realized that, and they get back to their community that was an innocent person that you hit, then it trickles to everybody. Like, whoa, wait a minute, we need to do more better shopping around this motherfucker because them niggas is caught up, right? Nobody wants to get hit for an innocent person because when you get to the penal system, and certain motherfuckers within there that been there and they learn what it is that you in here for, then you're gonna be the torpedo.
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
They want to see if you really about that business because you out there killing innocent people. So we need to see if you really you know you owe something. You owe the core.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna want to do it on some tough guy shit and they gonna bust you down.
Right.
That's the ways of the politics, you know, and that's something that really needs to be learned here because no matter how much hate that you got for each other out here, all that rah-rah shit that they blowing and all that shit, even the old niggas and shit with that blow and that rah-rah, y'all know that business. You know you gonna be in there shaking hands and shit.
Right.
So how we can't see at least that little bit that so it's not about just calling no peace. It's about re-educating our people. Right. That 2 + 2 is 4, not the 5 that we've been telling ourselves it was for 50 years.
Right. Now, do you think we can actually achieve peace, man, with what's going on, with what you see behind the walls and on the streets?
Well, you're gonna have peace in the motherfucking penitentiary regardless because everybody else is at you. So that's gonna go on forever.
Right.
Because you got no choice.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you know, they all got to stick together because everybody's on the 50-50 yard thing, you know. So if you on a GP yard, then y'all really trying to stick together now, you know, because really ain't that many yards because like everybody's trying to go home and stuff like that, you know. But it's still politics on these, you know, in these places and stuff. You know, I have clients all the way across the board, you know, but in order for it to ever be peace out here on these streets, you can never have peace until your homes are in order.
Right.
Like you can't step to the table and say that we can have peace or negotiate any type of peace without your house being in order. That means you got to air out all of your differences here and come to an understanding that this is what we're agreeing to. These niggas can't come over here and do X, Y, Z, or this border right here, this border is ours, this, and this. You negotiate what's going on.
That's right.
But if you're not gonna do that, you're never gonna have none of that because everybody, that's why I never said that after what happened at my meeting. I never even spoke those words again because I see how it traumatizes people. So I'd rather educate you on the truth.
Right.
And peace is just going to be a mechanism in it once you are enlightened on the truth. And that can come all the way around the board. Even your history of why you even think you fighting people.
Right.
You'll find, just like I heard, just like a couple of other brothers had mentioned and shit that I seen on some of those podcasts and stuff, man, like, you know, it's only a handful of cats that was really in the war.
Yeah.
Like Big Skull and them. That's my first general. That's my G homie and shit. That's my big homie and shit. Hands down. All these dudes wasn't a part of that business. You can have a handful of motherfuckers that was a part of the rest of them was friends. They went to school. They was friends.
Right.
It take a whole lot to kill your friend.
Yeah, dude.
So you may have a handful on each side that was, and most of them went to the penitentiary for it. So with people putting it out there with the peace thing, wherever, which I'm humbled to see that some of mine are even speaking like that, period. Right? Because it wasn't nobody's fault that I've lost some of my closest friends because I've been standing on this since I stepped out of the penitentiary and didn't come back as Baby Spike, the one that they knew. Right. But you can't raise your hand as to why you're mad at me I did mine strong and honorable for that business.
Right.
From the streets to the penitentiary, back to the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the one here calling peace for nobody. I understand your hate. All I'm saying is that I'm giving you the understanding, man, that it's not worth it. We already been there. We need to heal now.
Right.
We already been there, dude. There's no winners in that business.
Yeah, it ain't. It ain't none.
There's never gonna be any winners in the business, man. You're never gonna wipe anybody out. So we have to come to terms with it. My nephew, I had to talk to my nephew, Burton Bastard. That's my sister's son. To get his blessing to be, to understand what it is that I'm doing. That's his mama.
Now, how do he feel? How is he taking the, what type of trauma do he suffer from knowing what happened to his moms?
My nephew followed me into that business. He followed me all the way to the penitentiary, just like my other nephew on death row.
Mm.
And so he followed me into that business. So if he see me heal, he know he needs to heal.
Right.
I gave up my life for that business out there, and I wasn't even the one. So he understand what that business. He understand the things that I was in, that I showed him, and I wrote him a letter, and I wrote Tiny Solo a letter, and I wrote Tiny Booger Red a letter, and I wrote that Baby Schoolboy letter, and apologizing to them for even introducing them to this business. When I was sitting in that case trying to figure out how to make amends to my motherfucking community after all the things that I did. So it was personal for me to come back, and everything I've done, it just looked better together instead of just me. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing wrong. Don't turn your back on me because I'm telling the truth. We have to heal in this area over here. We have to heal from this area over here. And if it hasn't been no activity in all of this time, these are the times that we come together to gain some type of understanding.
Right.
A new rule of engagement between the two. Fuck what this other set say. Fuck what this other set say. They can come to the table and get their agreement. However we need to do it.
Right.
But this is the only way we're going to be able to ever have a peace and unify the people, is that you have to come on one accord in all these hoods. I know every hood from Hoover all the way now. I know all of them. I loved all them, everybody. They know that business. I walk with these niggas, to chat with these niggas. I done blaze my thing with these niggas. With black folk.
Mm-hmm.
I spend more time in there than I did out here. That's the thing they ain't understanding.
Right.
I grew up in prison. I only spent 5-6 years out here banging. That doesn't equate to me spending my life there with those people the whole time. And you're going to do the same thing when they get their hands on you. Take one mistake. One mistake. And you're going to do that. So the best thing that I can say with regards to the piece is just the terminology and the way that things are said. There's a way that you say things, but I applaud the gesture all the way around the board because it's an open topic, but it has to be universal. There's components to all of these things. Right. You can't have one right here without all these components. You can't come to the table over here without introducing it to these components around here.
Right.
You understand me? Because if you don't, then all the parties is going to be feeling a certain type of way because they don't know where you at with it now.
Real talk.
So you have to come to order with your houses. What we going to agree to, man?
It seemed like we only historically been able to stick together, man, when everybody is against us. You know, and the only time we see that is behind those walls. For some reason, we can't seem to see that it's the same way out here on the streets. You know what I mean?
Look, man, I marched when I got out here. I was marching with, Deion Kizzy, Floyd. I done stood. I done did marches, and I remember one time at the Gardena Festival, at the Gardena Jazz Festival, and I ran into um, the brother from the Black Lives Matter. I ended up meeting him later on, and he was all right. I don't think he remembered that was me. But at the time, I was doing a march about ending murders in our community, right?
Right.
And so I went to this gentleman and I said, man, look, man, I'm liking what y'all doing. I'm fresh out. I'm trying to find my way out here and shit. I'm liking what y'all doing or whatever. So like, would y'all mind coming out and march with us? We marching from Vermont 82nd all the way to Manchester and Western. You understand me? And he said, no, we don't support that. He said, we don't support street stuff.
Mm.
I said, wait, whoa. I said, wait a minute, like, what is the difference? The police is not the police primarily kill us over something that they assume that we did or we did do, right?
Right.
And we get up in arms or whatever. We killing each other because that's what we felt that we was bred to do. So when they see that we kill each other without impunity, right? Then that's why they realize that we don't give a shit. So if you remove that stigma, which I pray that I'm alive to see, because if we unify, then everybody be mad when they kill a little Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody will be mad, and then it'll create the culture where you're not gonna do that. You ain't gonna sock nobody. You ain't gonna do none of that because we no longer focusing on each other.
Right.
Right. We're rebuilding. We're getting these young men jobs. We building our own economic structures. We building the whole structure of the situation, and not having to worry about outside influences coming in to murder you because we have some agreements.
Right. I looked at if you go back, man, and I'm a history buff. I study a lot of civil rights cases and stuff like that. And if you look back at Emmett Till, man, when his mom had his funeral, all the black people in that community came out to support. We don't see that no more. You know what I mean? If it ain't our kid, we don't care. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. But let me ask you this: your organization. I know it's not just for black folks. If somebody's coming out of prison, do you reach them before they get out? How does that work?
Well, first of all, my program, my prison program is probably at least 65% Hispanic. Okay. Hispanics take to my program from the juvenile halls all the way through the prison system. Our people are just now starting to try to catch on and stuff from different states and stuff like that. But primarily, Hispanics make up AORP. I ran into a Hispanic partner at one of the events I was over the last few weeks, and he said, "Man, he's like, I've been trying to catch up with you. One out of Norwalk." You like, yeah, he's like, my people been trying to catch up. They going up for board and everything. And then just yesterday, one of my little homies, one of my big homies' sons, I talked to him because I was sending a packet to one of my other little homies. All of my programs are free for my people, and he said, man, I didn't know I was getting these certificates in his letter, and the homie seen the certificate, and he said, do you know who that is? He said, no. He said, that's Baby Spike. He said he called his daddy. He's like, Dad, this Baby Spike that did this. So a lot of people are still shocked because they know that the struggle that I did there, You know what I'm saying? I did mine strong and honorable. There's not one person that could raise their hand on my honor the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And I walked out from there. And so, but they just hear about me here, you know, and because I stand on what I stand on. You know, I stand on non-aggression agreements and new rules of engagement. You know what I'm saying? I understand you guys got that hate in your heart.
I hate little motherfuckers like you. Little niggas, you ain't shit.
I get you. I had that hate too. But I'm telling you, you know, it's not worth it. So if peace can be the order, then peace should be the way. Because
I agree, but I think
it benefits the people. It's not for it really shouldn't, you know. I understand you lost your cousin. I can be mad right now about my sister. I'm out here free.
Right.
I can be mad about the motherfucker who pumped 3 up in me because he free. So explain it to me. And when you go to jail, you can't tell me that you're not gonna conform to what it is. You're gonna be on PC yard.
Right.
So is it worth it? Make it make sense. If anybody can make it make sense to continue war when you know the facts, when you know what happened, this stuff started over juveniles. None of them was over 25 years old. We taking the ideology from teenagers who set out to really be for the community, but nobody had conflict resolve when it unfolded.
Right.
All we knew was to match each other. So it became personal. And here we are.
You have to think, young brother, about your future. Huh?
So we have to understand that. And you have to come to terms with that. They're not asking you to sing Kumbaya together. This is why you have negotiations. What would you agree to?
Right.
Like my homie Joker, you know, he's healed. So how you gonna be mad at him because he healed?
Yeah.
My homie Lil Joker, he's healed. They healed. They not out here saying fuck them niggas.
Now let me ask you this: do that healing come from retaliation?
No, that healing comes from when you finally realize that you done jumped out there in retaliation and you could have been more there for their family by being there in person in years than those years that you done spent when they catch you for the murders that don't expire.
That's what's up. That's it right there.
I could have been there for my people all this time as opposed to sitting in prison decades, along with the same people who are also spending decades in there next door to me.
Right.
Who just sent me a soup and shit. Like, where's the math missing at? For the young ones, you may be so turned up and so hurtful, like fuck these niggas, but you ain't gonna do that. If you think I'm lying, you can have one of your homies or one of my homies, my little homie, you think I'm lying, have that dude that's calling you from prison. If he's in the day room, tell him to yell that business out in that day room.
Disrespectful word.
That's right. We bad. That's right.
Yell it out.
Have him yell it out there, man, to confirm that y'all on the same link.
Right.
Then you can ask him when he's asking you about you out here with these rats and shit. You can ask them, are you on a 50-50 yard? Because everybody's there because you agreed to go there because everybody wants a second chance. It's no different here.
Oh, wow.
Everybody wants a second chance even here.
Yep.
They just don't know how to do it.
Yep.
So don't be so offended by the word peace because it's not just about you. It's about your kids. This is about your family. It's about your person the person that you lost, they kids. Don't you want they kids need to learn and see that things have changed. If we can't do that for the people, we're not gonna be nowhere for the bigger picture when when the Saints come marching in.
Right.
You ain't gonna because you're gonna be too, and everything is already fucked up right now, and they can't even see it. There's laws in place right now for the goddamn smashing grabs and shit, but they don't even realize that this is going on. And then when you get in there and call your mama, talking about they got me on some bullshit and talking about some shit from 5 months ago, you gonna realize that the laws changed for them to hit you with them 369s and shit like that.
Man.
And it's gonna hurt.
Now let me ask you this before I get you up out of here, man. You wrote a book, The Longest Wait. Tell us about it.
Man, the longest wait, man. Well, of course, names, dates, and places have been changed to protect the innocent. You feel me? But I wrote that book after my last assault on another inmate in prison, and I received a letter from my mother, and she told me, like, I'm never coming home. You never coming home. Now I heard you in XYZ, So I needed to begin to understand what happened to me. Why did I go left instead of right? Why didn't I take hold to the values that my mother and my older sisters were trying to instill in me, or my brothers, or whoever those figures in me that wanted the goodness out of me? How did I deviate from that to that? And so the book is me going back over all of that. What happened, man? What took place, man? Why did I, what happened with my sister? Why did I do that? A lot of people didn't even realize what was the trauma with me, in those days, because I was always isolated, always a lonesome type of person and shit, But the book, and it goes all the way up to where, to my conviction, in which I was railroaded and convicted for a gang-related murder. And my second book is gonna be, what I went through in there to make it back here, without a scratch, strong and honorable as a straight man and a representative of my community. And if I'm still alive, I'll do a book on what happened since I've been here. It's a whole lot. But I also wrote curriculum. That's what our program is about. I wrote 3 gang programs that address our mentality based on what it is that I went through and over the course of my life. And so we go over those issues, and and I have a 12 step based program where we do groups that address our gang bullying and criminal thinking the same way as AA and NA, because we like to look at it, even your drug and alcohol use, we like to look at it from a gang bullying criminal thinking standpoint. We believe that your addiction, a lot of times our addiction came from the gang first, and then the alcohol and drugs came as a secondary to being introduced to that life.
Right. Now, is those curriculums, any of those curriculums for juvenile?
Oh yeah, no correspondences for juvenile, because we have, because they are still going through the systems, and so but it's general. Even parents and community members can learn from it if they have family members that's experiencing gang mentality. And be able to have an understanding of why they may feel a certain way, or why they may not like this color, or not like this word or that word. We help you with that understanding, because we know that to empower the parents, and we implore the parents to, if you are still influential to your kids, 13 to 18, then we encourage you to bring them to our groups, so that you can understand it too, so that when you tell him that he's stupid, he know you got some logistics behind it.
Right.
You heard it right before, but that man just told you in front of you that you're gonna go to jail and shake them dudes' hands, or one of your friends gonna pop you in your neck.
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
And sometimes it'll resonate well coming from your mama when you know she's telling the truth.
Right. Right. That's real talk. That's real talk. Well, tell them where they can find your book, man.
Well, you can find the book on Amazon. It's called Kufan, The Longest Wait by Bernard K. Cooper. um, Programs, you can find them through the email. You can sign up for programs to be community health workers and help us go into the juvenile halls. There will be employment involved in it as we move forward. But we want to create community health workers that can go into the juvenile halls, into the facilities, or any other settings, and be able to administer our program in our 12-step support groups to the community. So you can get that through AFF, OFF, REC, PG, 3W at gmail.com. And that's the Community Health Facilitators Program at Affiliates and Offenders Recovery Program. What it is that you will go through an orientation. You get through that orientation, graduate into a facilitator, and it's equipped with support letters that will stand up in any court or any job that you're trying to go through. We're fully support based. We do help people assist with jobs or any assistance that anybody justice impacted may have. We're here for you.
That's what's up. And for your organization, tell them where they can find you at. Leave all your
Well,
information.
you can find our organization, man, primarily, man, at St. Andrews Rec Center. However, we are all through through Los Angeles. We are in Norwalk, Pasadena. So we are pretty much all over with regards to facilitators, but we primarily administer our groups throughout Zoom. You can also get on that link all through that email. If you have loved ones that's in prison that you would like to enroll into the program, you can also inquire as to how to enroll your loved ones into programs at the same email at AFFOFFREC PG3W@gmail.com. You get all your information there. You can also order books there, as well as any support for its community resources.
Now, do they have to be in California for that?
Primarily, we administer to California. However, we are building ambassadors in such states as Washington, North Carolina, Virginia, Vegas. So we're as far as the program go, anybody that's justice impacted for us presently incarcerated. It all depends. We have a lot of pushback from other states that they don't want those guys to be able to have it. I don't know why, but if it's a state that's willing to let them get the programming, then we're willing to address that issue because we know that California has influenced. At least I see it from coming home and seeing what I see. It is very influential in all these different states, and it's really a pretty big false narrative that they're giving to other states with regards to the real structure of these communities.
That's right. One more thing, man, before I let you go. Say something to the kids, man. What you got to say to the youngsters?
Well, the kids, man, like if you 13 to 26, to 25, man, really look at the education of it. I'm not talking about the school books education, which that helps, but look at the math of what it is. The things that you're seeing and that people are presenting on these social media with the glorifying and everything, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. And I hope that generation can be able to see the simple math of what it is and change the culture of how we see each other or how we go about daily operations out here in this world.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. My brother, I salute you, man, and we're gonna do this again, bro. I'm gonna keep tapping in
Absolutely.
all the time. I'm gonna keep tapping in with you, man, touching bases with you, so we can see what's up with the program. Because I like to shine a light on brothers that's doing positive things, such as yourself. So I ain't gonna hold you too much, brother. You go ahead and enjoy the rest of your night, and we gonna holler, brother.
Amen, brother. All right, man. You know, non-aggression and new rules of engagement for the streets to everybody, man.
That's what's up.
Right.
All right, brother. We gonna holler.
All right.
Hey, yo, Superfly, I got a beat for you.
Let me hear it.
Check it out.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Ha.